Hey everyone, this is Viper4724, and I was just making my decks for the Dovin, Baan, and Sarkon event tomorrow, and I ended up buying the Baral Chief of Compliance, so I obviously decided to go with a Baral deck for Dovin, and I just wanted to show you a great option for something that didn't have anything to do with energy and has some great play in it and should be, I mean, the gameplay isn't very quick because of how long it takes, but the deck itself is pretty quick in 2 to 5 rounds usually. So, Baral, obviously. Niblis of Frost, I think, is pretty key in most of the Baral decks. I threw in, not forgot, to just continue to build spirit creatures. Coastal Discovery I use in all of my decks with him because the extra draw on the cards gets you better chance with the spells. A lot of talk that I've had has went back and forth on using Imprisoned in the Moon. I personally love it. I mean, if he never gets a creature on the field, and you don't have to use Imprisoned in the Moon, then obviously you're winning the match. Whereas if he does get a creature on the field, you can continuously play Imprisoned over and over and over again and never have a problem with it. So why not have it in the deck? The one thing that I added to this deck that's different than my other Baral decks is Aetherflux Reservoir. When you cast a spell, you gain 2 life and your opponent takes 2 damage. Pretty obvious. Obviously, I wouldn't add too much other stuff to this deck if he wasn't locked at only having 7 spells total. So, I have my 7 spells, I only threw in 2 creatures, and I honestly think the Aetherflux Reservoir is a great addition. Now, hopefully, I can hop in here and show you how well he works in battle. My first battle with him, on the 3rd turn, I dealt the player 54 direct damage and attacked him for 64 with Niblis of Frost. So it was pretty quick, pretty easy. Didn't have any problems. Now, what I usually do is save all my spells already built up in my hand until I get Baral. The only ones that I spend are either the creature spells, like I just did, or the draw spells, obviously to get Baral in my hand. Now, having the Niblis on the field really does a lot throughout the entire game, even if Baral's not on there. At that time, I just continuously play 1 spell each turn to disable the first creature and also make him a 6/6 every time instead of a 3/3. As you can see, I did get Baral in my hand. The goal for me is to have Niblis on the field and ready to attack, because once Baral hits, the fun doesn't stop. So probably not going to get on the field this time. So what I'm going to actually go with, as you can see, black is -1 for me right now. He's not maxed out all the way. So I'm not going to take the black play. I'm actually going to take the runes. And everything worked out. But I didn't undo my spells, which I'm kind of mad at myself for, but that's alright. Turn him into, imprison him in the moon. And I'm actually going to save all these spells for a round. And as long as nothing's going on, it doesn't absolutely hurt to save these spells. It really doesn't. I mean, it slows down the game even more. But, like, not having those spells out last round doesn't change anything for the future of this match at this point. As you can see, Survive the Night I really like because it actually gives you an investigate, which is fun. Helps you out in the future to get that extra card in your hand. And now we pretty much have the lock on. Frost is on the battlefield, continuously gaining mana. I wish I had the Flux on the board already, because it would be dealing 2 damage every time, and you can see how effective that really is. Using every spell automatically increases Frost, no matter who you add it to. So I like to try to give all my creatures flying, just because it's harder to block. The Stratus Walk, once again, drawing an extra card. There's the Aether Flux. It's not going to be on the field this time, obviously. But if Chandra gets another turn, which I'm sure she will, it'll hopefully, well, with Dovin's first ability, it'll gain 5 mana, so it'll be on the field ready to go for the next play. So, at this point, I know I'm not going to win this specific round, so I'm actually going to save the spell in my hand, cut it right down, and then I will finish her off this round. Now the key with Baral is to get rid of every single thing in your hand unless you know it's going to hit the board or it's a spell. So got rid of everything else in my hand. I know this will hit the board, the Aether Flux will hit the board this round because I used his first ability. So here we go. Now you'll really get to see how it works. Every time I hit that spell, Frost gets +3/+3. Now we're hitting for 2 damage every time, and I get to gain life. Gonna imprison everything in the moon. And as you can see, I'm actually going to draw 2 extra cards, which increases my turn. And even though I didn't even get very great draws there, as you can see, I've already locked down the match. And honestly, the best part about this almost endless play, I can stop it whenever I want, and now that I'm going to win, I'm going to stop it, win the match, and move on. So, hopefully you can see how powerful Baral is. Be careful when you see him hit the board. Obviously, AI isn't as equipped, and their biggest difference is they don't get rid of everything in their hands, so you don't have to worry about the endless turning and draws. But he's very powerful. You want to take care of him whenever you see him hit the board, and if you have him, he's great in Dovin with absolutely no energy whatsoever. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.